Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. This every day's video. So yesterday I was able to go to Fidens' first soft opening. This video will be posted in the future a little bit, so it was Wednesday. I think I'll post this video on Sunday. But anyway, just fresh off that from going yesterday, my wife and I went. I was able to get tickets pretty quickly the day that they released them. And I was just going to go over my experience, try to explain it for people who haven't been there yet, and maybe even try to put a little bit of footage and pictures into this video. So it'll be my experience and also a little bit from this article from Albany Business Review. I don't have a subscription to them, but they did let me read at least one article without a subscription. So I will link to them, to this article in the description box if you want to read the article that I did pull a few pieces of information from. So it's downtown in a really cool spot. There's a bunch of great places down there. Nine Pin Cidery, Wolf's Beer Garden. There's a couple of breweries in the area. There's Albany Distilling Company, which I really like. So it's definitely like a smart place to have this kind of a tap room. And they have some parking right next to the building, which is nice, plus off-street parking. So that's a plus because, you know, you go downtown in a city, sometimes it's hard to find street parking. And it's nice that they do have, after 3 o'clock, which they open at 3, you are able to park in this parking lot. So that's where my wife and I parked. We got there, walked in, and some of this stuff is soft opening specific, but I showed my tickets. I got scanned. Yep. You know, we're here for the right day. There was 2 tickets, etc. And you go in. One of the first things I thought, you know what? Overall, it was very obvious that this was well thought out. So the guy who scanned the tickets kind of explained things, and we walked in and saw everything for ourselves. So you have food to the left. Well, actually, you walk into a nice space and there's garage doors that they could open if the weather was nice. So you're still like inside, but there's a lot of outside availability in terms of like, oh, there's the outside without a wall. But you're still, you know, not in the sun. And as a very pale, bald guy, I appreciate that I can have the illusion of being outside while still not being in the direct sun. And then you go into what I assume was more the original building. And to the left is the food line. They had the big food menu. And I say big food menu. I thought it was like pretty good size. And they had posted online. Plus Alan from Fidens told me, he's like, oh yeah, no, this is like the small version. Like we are going to be adding even more. So I thought it was an impressive list. They had a lot of burgers. I guess they have some custom beef blend that's like specifically blended for them at Fidens. My wife and I are plant-based, so they had a burger that we had. And then they had wings. They had, I think it was 3 different kinds of desserts. They had some salads, a chili, like a decent amount of food. And this is apparently like just the beginning. Decent sized kitchen. You can, you know, it's open concept. You can see into the kitchen very easily, which is cool. I like that. And then my understanding is it's basically the same bar that had been there before. I had never gone to the previous, I think it was 2 places before Fidens took it over. But like a nice like horseshoe bar, and then there's stairs and there's seating above that, which is cool. And actually seating, I got this from the article, 370 guests is how much they could fit. And that was something when I walked in, based on the pictures they had put online and the fact that I had never been to the prior businesses, I was like, this is bigger than I thought, and like, which is awesome. And it's relatively, like the walls are painted relatively light, which also I think makes it look bigger, with some dark accents. Speaking of that, they walk the line very well there, where everything is obviously new, clean. And when I say new, obviously it's new, but I mean like newer style architecture, fixtures, things like that. And I think sometimes when places try to do that, it can come across as sterile, corporate, lifeless, you know? And they walked it really well, where they have enough like artwork on the walls that is totally Fidens. Things like that, where it doesn't feel sterile, and I don't like that. It lacks character, lacks a soul, you know. So I think they really were able to, or they not able, they really did do that well. And then separate from the food line, you go and order drinks from the bar, and I just think that's nice because then you have distinct lines for those 2 things. It's not one giant line trying to do both and or, you know. And then this was the first time I saw this. They have, when you order food, those buzzers, but you set them on a specific part of the table, which then must let the servers know exactly what table to go to. So instead of getting those like little stands that have a number and then they come over, it seems to be like a newer version of that, which was really cool. I had not seen that before. Again, very spacious. It's 11,000 square feet. Another thing I got from the article is they're looking to open up more tap rooms. They want to keep direct to consumer. They don't want to start distributing, going through a distributor. So besides selling cans, they will eventually start selling cans. Actually, when I post this video, I think it'll be the week after, they'll start selling cans at the brewery. I am posting this, just FYI, posting this before that has happened. I'm going to assume that stuff's taking place in the back. Just kind of how the layout is there. I assume that's the kind of like the sweet spot for doing that. They had a really nice display. They did post a picture of this ahead of time on Instagram, where you can buy glasses and clothing and stuff. Just really nice. Again, the layout very thoughtful. Some really nice touches. And also, I didn't know this, because they're still brewing at the same place, but they are also looking for a bigger place to brew. And this article, really interesting, and I encourage you to read it. They're talking about how many hours that they've been putting into trying to keep up with demand. And if they have that bigger space, they can make more beer, obviously. And then it said, I think that if I remember the article correctly, I didn't write this down, it was something like on average, the beer they brew lasts 7 days. And they're trying to get that up so the turnaround doesn't have to be so much. If they do brew a batch of something that goes sideways, that they can't release, or they choose not to release because they don't want to release an inferior product, that it won't like crush them, in terms of like that week's releases. So that's also something to be on the lookout for, just FYI, which I did not know about. The food was quite good. We got the chili and that burger, like I said. A couple other people around us were eating other things, and everyone seemed to think the food was good. Obviously, if you've ever had Fidens beer, the beer was very good. They also had wines and one cider. I think I mentioned this earlier, from Nine Pin Cidery, which again is very close to that brewery. So it's kind of cool because if you go to the Nine Pin Cidery, they have guest beers on tap. So if you go there and you're not a cider drinker, but other people in your party are, there are beer options, vice versa here, which I really appreciate. Even though I like their beer, I just think that's cool because that way more people can be happy, and I'm all about that. But yeah, it was really well done. First day, soft opening. They're trying to work out the kinks. There weren't a lot of kinks. The guy at the where I did put in our food order, I didn't catch his name. Super charismatic guy. Was very forthright with information. Hey, it's gonna take 40 minutes. It's our first day. We're figuring out the kitchen and how to best go through the tickets, like all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, 40 minutes isn't that crazy anyway, man. But yeah, fair enough. I appreciate it. The food came out definitely at least within that 40 minutes, and again, it was quite good, and it was their first day. They'll only get better. I don't have any complaints, if I'm being honest. It's a beautiful space. I'm so happy it's close to my house. I got to talk to some people who had either seen the channels or I've talked to through Instagram or text messages or whatever, so I got to meet some people in real life, which was really cool. Got to talk to Alan a little bit, congratulated them, and Steve as well. They stress, I'm sure, was somewhat high that first day, but also I hope happiness, and I hope that they were able to look around and really take it in, that was the first day that this new tap room was open. And it's just a beautiful space, and the few people I did talk to there, that's what everyone was saying. They're just looking around like this place is great. So super stoked that they're opened this tap room successfully. It seems like they knocked it out of the park. And have you guys been? Are you planning a trip? Anything related to this you want to talk about? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.